ladies and gentlemen. During the trial today, Amber Guyger's defense tried to give a motion of not guilty, but Judge Tammy Kemp did not accept that. Okay. And, they are winding down, and this trial will be over soon, as I said in my last video. Okay, so this is NBC 5 out of Dallas, Fort Worth. State rest on day 4. Defense motion for a direct verdict of not guilty denied. Okay, so the 4th day of testimony in the murder trial of now former Dallas police officer Amber Guyger is underway Thursday in the courtroom of Judge Tammy Kemp. Guyger is accused of fatally shooting 26-year-old Botham Jean in his Southside Flats apartment last year when she returned to her apartment building after work. The state called a half a dozen witnesses Thursday, including a police officer, a police detective, 2 Texas Rangers, a firearm expert, and a criminal investigator for the district attorney's office. Yeah, the prosecution, which is referred to as the state in here, they had quite a few people on the stand and several experts. The final witness, criminal investigator Michael Grice, was on the stand for about 10 minutes before lead prosecutor Jason Hermas told the judge and jury that the state rest their case. After a short break, the defense will begin presenting their case shortly. Amber Guyger is expected to testify, but when the testimony will take place is unclear. Well, it's tomorrow morning. This is what they're claiming. A live stream of the trial is available in the player at the top of the page, NBC 5. Jack Heiberger and Larry Collins will cover the trial every day from the courthouse and will contribute to the proceedings in the live blog below. So, ladies and gentlemen, it will be an interesting day tomorrow. Absolutely will be interesting. Okay, so Judge Kemp denied all 3 of the defense motion and ordered the court into recess until 8:30 a.m. Friday to allow the defense more time to prepare. Kemp said she wasn't sure the defense knew the state would rest their case today. The defense will be expected to call their first witness Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. The defense continued with their motion, saying if the direct verdict was granted, they wanted a direct verdict on manslaughter and criminal negligence, claiming the state had not proven any of the offenses. Well, I disagree with them. I think they did, but that's my opinion. The defense began by asking the judge to render a direct verdict of not guilty on the murder charge, saying the state did not prove each element of the indictment and that Guyger did not knowingly and intentionally cause Botham Jean's death. Well, she shot 2 bullets and one critically injured him. It was a fatal shot. Judge Kemp has returned to the courtroom, and the defense has been given a short break to prepare. The trial is expected to resume before 2 p.m., but it didn't resume. Okay, it did not resume. And this is just going over the timeline of what happened in court today. So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we'll see how Amber Guyger holds up on the stand. I know there were some people speculating that they didn't think she would take the stand, but according to her attorneys, she is indeed taking the stand. So, I tell you what, they are not coming off so well in this case, and I'm shocked that she got three attorneys and they have done very poorly in her defense in this case. You know, they tried a couple of times to get a mistrial, and that was rejected by the judge. And they wanted the case to be dismissed, that was rejected. So this will continue on, you know? So we'll see what happens. We'll see if she gets on the stand and turn on the waterworks or she holds up. Time will tell. But ladies and gentlemen, my heart goes out to Botham Jean's family. They've had it rough in that courtroom. They were forced to relive the death of their son, not only hear about it, but they saw the graphics of it by watching the police body cam of their son lying on the floor. It was just terrible. I mean, I was deeply impacted from looking at both of John laying down on that floor and getting CPR. But one thing I can honestly say, the cops that arrived, they got to work on him immediately. Amber Guyger didn't do anything but what we saw before, just standing around screaming over and over, "I thought it was my apartment." That's not helping Botham John at all. And that was mentioned several times during the proceedings that she did not try to help him at all. She didn't try to help him at all. And I think that is probably one of the most critical things in the case. There were other things that were critical, but the fact that she was in that apartment with him all that time, and they were able to track down her text messages, and she was talking on the phone with 911. She was doing both at the same time. So she was indeed not giving him any kind of first aid at all. But those cops that came after her, they did work very hard to try to bring him back around. They said when they took Botham John out of the apartment, he still was alive. He had a very faint pulse, but he was still alive when they took him out of there. He did not survive, and here we are with his trial. And remember, her attorneys were trying to do a change of venue. And if that would have went through, we would have had to wait a whole year before this trial would even come up. And I'm glad the judge rejected the change of venue. I heard the judge would not have changed. This same judge would have been on this case, but it would have been in a different part of the county. So that was rejected, and now here we are, almost at the very end of the trial. So, ladies and gentlemen, especially those of you, if you were watching this case, please tell me what you think in the comment section. I think the state put on a damn good trial. They really did. They were very organized, very direct in their questions. And, and they put some pretty good people with a lot of knowledge up on the stand, where the defense, they didn't really put too many people with they didn't really put anybody up on the stand. I mean, now David Armstrong was really a person that was put on the stand by the prosecution, but he took it upon himself to try to um you know be Mr. Hero for Amber Guyger. He wanted to throw some shade and try to defend her at the time that he was on the stand. And he has a very interesting background too. So, ladies and gentlemen, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.